Welcome to Books on Point. Well, a secret torment for some, a proud responsibility for others, black tax is a daily reality for thousands of black South Africans. In a thought-provoking and moving anthology, a provocative range of voices share their deeply personal stories, and the contributions also investigate the historical roots of black tax, the concept of the black family, and of course looking at the black middle class. We're joined by Niq Mhlongo, who edited the book Black Tax, asking the question, is it a burden or Ubuntu? Niq, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for inviting me.
Let's talk about what inspired you to write the book.
I think it's one of the most personal stories, actually, for everyone, actually, not only for me. But what inspired me is that, we, every day, actually, we live black tax as black people. In most cases, I have a friend who, at some point, what really inspired me was, at some point, I've had two friends who said, they're not going home in December because they are afraid of black tax. So I really imagined, okay, this must be something that we should share as black people, because it's not only them that having such kind of a challenge at home, but it's majority of black South Africans, because we are coming from, extended families, and that most of them are unfortunate in terms of they need our financial assistance. So that's the reason that I decided, together with Jonathan Ball, that we should write about it, because it's one of the topics that has always been trending. And funny enough, it's always trending around Easter and December. You know, that's when our our families from all different sides of South Africa expect us to come home or to contact them or to assist them. So I thought, wow, this is the opportunity to write it. It's a matter of sharing as South Africans.
All right. Before we get to the specifics of some of the contributors and the issues that they raise, how easy or difficult was it for you to find the contributors for this book? I mean, they've got some amazing stories, and I can imagine you probably had a wide net in terms of options of other stories to include in this book. How did you get to the point where you picked these unique essays? I
think one of the most important thing about these contributors, and I thank them quite a lot, is that they have been in the literary scene. Some of them have been in the literary scene for quite some time, and they have contributed a lot nationally and internationally. But I had realized that okay, those ones that I know that are in my field, of course, those that are in the literature landscape. But I realized that in order to make a balanced opinions of the book, essays, I should also add people from all business people as well. It shouldn't be seen only as art, kind of a book, a collection. It should be seen from all different angles, from business to politics, every aspect of it. But it was not that much difficult to get hold of those people, because some of them I knew them, and this is the topic that we always talked informally with them in different spaces. So that's why, in terms of collecting it, of course, it took only 6 months. But in terms of the thought behind it, it has taken a lot of maybe a year or so, because when I decided now is the time to talk to these people, I already knew that the strength and weaknesses of particular how to put the essay together, because I had to collect people from rural areas. I had to balance it in terms of gender, in terms of locality. It shouldn't be an urban story alone, it shouldn't be a youth story alone. So I balance in terms of age, gender, and also where people are residing. So I realized that after reading it, we all have the same challenges in life.
All right. One of the lovely things about the books is that it gives one the idea to look at black tax to the different lens of many people, as you mentioned yourself. But what about those who may not necessarily understand what black tax is? perhaps maybe because they were born from privileged families, how do they look at black tax, whether we want to define it as black tax or want to define it as something that you do for family because you do for family?
Yes.
How do they participate in the conversation, in the debate around black tax without necessarily being insensitive around the many experiences of others?
I think it goes back to the title of the book itself. It says black tax, Ubuntu, or a burden.
Yeah.
You know, so when you read it, it depends on your you know, if your social upbringing. I grew up under black tax, so
Yes.
for me it's not a tax as well as such, because the word tax has got a negative connotation itself. It means that you are coerced to do something that you might not like. Yeah. But I take we had to choose the word black tax because it's colloquially used everywhere. But how we colloquially use it, some of us, that's why we have written the essay that it shouldn't be called black tax. It should be social upliftment, because I'm here today talking to you, being able to write and collect this because I'm a product of a black tax itself, if we have to look at it from that general definition. But if you go into, you delve into the essays, different essays, they each offer a unique kind of definition, which I thought, oh, because I also, when I was, before I collected the book, my, you know, my definition of black tax was very limited. But after the book, after reading all the essays, I've realized that I'm learning quite a lot about it. For instance, I didn't know that it's something that could be traced as an institutionalized kind of, you know, a law by apartheid, for instance. And I didn't know that we could trace it from 1652 because of the laws that only allowed men to be migrant laborers, and then only, you know, made women to be dependent on men. So those are the kind of things that I've learned out of the book, and I think the people that are going to read it, whichever environment you come from, you are going to definitely understand, and definitely there will be a standpoint that will come from it.
All right, Niq, thank you so much for your time. We're going to cross to Arabile now, who has some news regarding President Cyril Ramaphosa.